The beginning of this great story would give in the training in which Goku was watching as the Supreme Kaio-sama. He was able to release all the hidden power of Gohan, so his power had grown in an impressive way.
Wow, Gohan's power is amazing! Apparently the ability that he claims to have is truly amazing. I appreciate it. I feel like my power has risen in an incredible way. I'm sure now I'll be able to beat Majin Buu.
I trust you, because the power that I've been able to unlock is of another level. Moreover, I have never unlocked so much hidden power in my existence.
I'm proud of you, son, and to put an end to this evil of Majin Buu.
Goku would leave to end the battle with Majin Buu. However, the events of the story would take place normally, because due to Gohan's overconfidence, Majin Buu absorbed the fusion of Gotenks, being defeated very easily. But Goku, with his great power in Super Saiyan Phase 3, was able to give him much more battle, having received the life of the Supreme Being. At the end of the battle, with that little demon, all the warriors had returned to planet Earth. However, Goku looked very thoughtful, something that was weird in that Saiyan since all this charisma was smiling.
Hey Bug, what's wrong with you? Why are you so thoughtful?
The power of Majin Buu. It turned out to be amazing. He was even able to force us to do the fusion. We have to train much harder, Vegeta.
I agree with you, Kakarot, but we don't know how we'll be able to overcome our limits.
I think I'll go to the mountains to meditate, to look for a way to increase my power much more, because if any new enemy appears and is much more powerful than Majin Buu, we won't be able to do anything.
I'm gonna train several gravity machines that Bulma's built.
Both Saiyans left, while Goku, when reaching the limits of the mountains, would begin his great meditation, with which he tried to overcome his limits. But he'd remember, as that Supreme, he was able to release all the power of Gohan.
That's the idea. I'll ask the Supreme to release all my power in the same way. I'm sure that with that, I'll be able to raise my power in a much faster way.
Goku would quickly use teleportation, arriving to the planet of the Supreme Kaio-samas, so he would instantly arrive. He would meet the Supreme.
Supreme Kaio-sama, I ask you to unlock my power in the same way. I also want to become much stronger. I want to be able to protect the entire planet Earth.
But Goku, you already have enough power to face any warrior. It's not necessary that you release all your power.
But throughout Universe 7, the essence of the powerful god Beerus would be perceived by all the warriors of divine energy, and these were the Supreme Kaio-samas. So the Supreme felt how his whole body trembled.
If Beerus, the god of destruction, awakens, I'm sure he'll destroy everything in his path. He was the one who sealed me on that sword millions of years ago. I think it would be a best idea to unlock all the hidden power of Goku. I'll tell him all this all the same, so that Goku's not excited by the presence of a god of destruction.
Please, Supreme, I implore you, I'll do anything.
You've convinced me, Goku. Okay, I'll unlock all your hidden power for you because I know you'll be able to help even all the other planets in this space.
Of course, yes. Leave that in my hands. I plan to protect all beings who need it.
The Supreme Kaio-sama would start with the ritual to be able to release all the hidden power of Goku. So unlike Gohan on this occasion, it would take him 2 weeks, realizing that Goku's energy veins were sealed from his birth. That's very strange. It seems that someone sealed the veins of pure Saiyan bloods, because this can only be passed down from generation to generation. Releasing Goku's hidden power was taken much longer than necessary, but the Supreme was able to emanate a little of his power through all of Goku's energy veins, so all the seals that were already weakened by the ritual were completely destroyed. Instantly, Goku felt as his base power had even multiplied by 50, as if he had transformed into Super Saiyan.
This is amazing! Now I'll release all my power to be able to realize what my maximum power is.
Goku would begin to expel all the power, starting to cause various disasters all over the place, because Goku's power was much greater than Gohan's power. That's right, the calm and the warm environment had changed to an environment of total destruction. While Goku's hair would turn a greenish color, while his power seemed to have no limits, from a big explosion it was possible to observe Goku with that powerful transformation. But not only 2 seconds later, Goku would fall to the ground due to the excess energy. Wow, apparently his body's not able to withstand all that power. But it is understandable. Power he's releasing is of another level, nor am I able to assimilate it. After a few days, Goku had completely recovered, being able to stand up and feeling his great increase in power.
Your increase in power is much more noticeable because I previously gave you my life, and that gave you the advantage of possessing a little of the essence of a supreme being.
That's to say that right now, I could be considered equally a supreme Kaio-sama.
No, nothing of that. Only through your body runs the essence of a supreme being, or rather the divinity. And with the power that I have unlocked in you, that power has only grown in a much more incredible way, giving it a plus of energy.
Wow, this is amazing! Now I want to try my new powers. I'm going to train in the time room to control all this power.
Goku would say goodbye to the Supremes, quickly heading to planet Earth, arriving in a matter of seconds. So he'd head to the Holy Temple, asking the Earth God for the time room.
Please, will you let me use the time room, since I have to become much more powerful in case an enemy more powerful than Majin Buu appears?
Don't worry, Mr. Goku. You've been the savior of planet Earth. On multiple occasions, there's no problem. Goku would enter the time room, starting with his rigorous training. However, despite taking his body to the limit, he was not able to access that transformation, which turned his hair a greenish color. However, all the essence had merged with his body, being able to release all that power and any transformation he wishes.
I'm satisfied with all the power I've achieved, although I'm sure I'm still able to exceed my limits much more, but I want to relax for a few days.
Goku would leave the Room of Time, heading home. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, the powerful god of destruction Beerus had fully awakened. Hey, Whis, what happened to planet Vegeta? That guy Frieza, if I destroy him as I've ordered.
That's right, Mr. Beerus. 99% of all Saiyans were eradicated from this universe. There are currently only 3 purebred Saiyans alive.
That doesn't matter anymore, since it's only 3 insignificant Saiyans. But now I have to end Frieza's life, since he thinks he's better than me.
Mr. Beerus, that'll be impossible for you since Frieza was defeated by one of the surviving Saiyans. Beerus would be surprised by that information, asking to fight against that Saiyan who was even able to defeat Frieza. But Mr. Beerus, that's not all, since he was able to defeat a very powerful demon which was even able to give battle to the Supreme.
That sounds more and more interesting. Being able to defeat Frieza and even end the life of a demon that's able to eliminate the Supremes. I really want to fight with that guy.
Both deities were heading quickly to the planet of the Kai, because with this help of Whis Bakulo, they realized that Goku was training in that territory. So the northern Kaio-sama would realize that the god of destruction was heading towards the planet would panic, because he knew that Goku would ask him to fight.
Goku, I want you to leave immediately, or hide in my house. It's an order.
But why? What did I do? Something you didn't like? If so, you could tell me. I won't do it again. I just want to keep training. Please.
But before he's able to say anything, both deities prostrated themselves in front of Goku. So Goku, despite not being able to feel the ki of the gods, was able to feel a strange sensation which warned him of the imminent danger that he had in front of him.
Wow, what's that I feel in my body? It's the first time my whole body warns me that it feels threatened. Even with Majin Buu, I felt this feeling.
Kaio, long time no see. And in order not to dwell on the matter, I want to talk to the Saiyan who's able to defeat Frieza and that demon named Majin Buu.
Of course, Mr. Beerus, as you order.
Meanwhile, on the planet of the Supremes, the Supreme who unlocked Goku's power would say to himself,
"The day has come in which the most powerful Saiyan will face the most powerful god of all the universes, but I'm sure that battle won't be easy for him."
Returning with both of them to the planet of the Kai, Goku was face to face with Beerus.
From what I realize, you're very powerful, and I'd like to measure myself in combat with you.
Well. Apparently you have the necessary guts. As to ask the god of destruction to face you. What do you think, Whis?
I find it curious that a mere mortal is able to ask him for combat, either he has enough confidence in his power, or he really has nothing in his head.
You're right, Whis, but I didn't make the trip in vain. So I plan to accept the combat to this Saiyan. I want you to show me the power that's able to finish with those 2 iconic warriors.
Don't hesitate. I'm going to show you all my power. The power I've achieved with hard training.
Goku began to release all his power, so he was able to access the Super Saiyan 3. But the power he released this time was crazy, since he was able to feel all over the universe, despite being in a very different dimension.
That's Kakarot's power. I can't believe how he's able to raise his power. But who is the warrior he faces with all that power?
What do you think? Is he even ready?
I can tell that power you possess is incredible, because despite everything you are a mere mortal. That power is insufficient to face a god like me.
Confident, Beerus would release 3% of all his power, so he would launch into the attack, but was surprised realizing how the Saiyan was able to dodge each of his blows. And being off guard, Goku was able to connect a kick successfully, making him crash in a brutal way, which even surprised Whis. Did Mr. Beerus trust himself? No, even though this Confident, the most powerful god of all the universes, could not fall with that incredible power. What is this Saiyan? Beerus would stand up a little angry. However, Goku, without giving him time to recover, would begin to grant him several blows, which left all the spectators surprised. Beerus, being able to find an opening, was able to expel 25% of all his power, with which he was able to take full control of the battle, but the power he had expelled was an outrage. Since it was a simple mortal, Beerus would, at a great speed, grant him a great blow to Son Goku's neck, which would make him lose consciousness.
You have amazing power, but you're not the Super Saiyan god I'm looking for.
Both deities, when they were about to leave, as if it was from Goku's body, an incredible power was being released. That's right, Goku's power could begin to grow in an amazing way. While he released all that aura, he released a greenish color, just like his hair. It will be better to transport them from planet, since the small planet won't be able to withstand all this power. Whis, with a great power, was able to take both warriors to an inhospitable planet of the entire Universe 7. But at the moment of arrival, an incredible explosion could be observed. While Goku's power seemed to have no limits, and as if it were a beast, he would give a blow to Beerus in the stomach, which made him lose consciousness almost, sending him flying hundreds of kilometers, while Goku continued to expel a large amount of energy. The power that Goku was releasing was a bestiality. So much, even for his own body, but having unlocked all the hidden potential, even his own body would become much more resistant than normal, since he was able to withstand those powerful loads of power without his speed being compromised. This is amazing. The power of that Saiyan is still growing amazingly. It has even grown so much that I can't exactly measure it, but it compares to the power of a low-level god. From all that, over the place of a big explosion would be felt. That's right, Beerus had recovered from that powerful blow, releasing 50% of all his power, being furious because that blow had caused him incredible pain.
Damn monkey, I swear I'll end your pathetic life. I don't know how you've been able to release all that power, but you won't be able to cope with my 50% power.
Beerus, as if it were a lightning bolt, would be able to position himself in front of Goku, being able to grant a big blow to Goku in his face. But his surprise was noticeable to realize that he hadn't been able to move Goku, despite all the power he had used in his fist. Is that all? The simple words of Goku created several disasters around the place. That's right, his voice was much more chilling. As he released his supreme authority, Goku would hold the hand of Beerus, and instantly would hold his face in a quick movement, being able to sink it into the entire crust of that planet. I can't believe it. Mr. Beerus, despite using 50% of all his power, he's not able to defend himself. I think I'll have to intervene or something very bad may happen. Beerus, quickly without trusting himself, would release 100% of all his power, with which he was able to grant him a great kick, sending him flying to another planet, destroying him completely.
Don't worry, Whis, but it's amazing that this Saiyan was able to make me use 100% of all my power. It's even more amazing that I don't possess the power of a god.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, Mr. Beerus, since I can notice how from his entire body of that Saiyan, an amazing divine power is being released.
Whis, don't say stupid things. I'm not able to feel anything, and not able to release the essence of a god without proper training.
Goku would recover from that powerful blow, and with a smile, he would begin to have a very equal battle with the God of Destruction. That's right, the power that Goku released on this occasion was an outrage, even for a God of Destruction. Meanwhile, on the Supreme Planet, beings were likewise witnessing the catastrophic battle.
Apparently, I have done an excellent job of unlocking 100% of Son Goku's ability, since not even a god is able to stop him, and he has not yet released my divine essence.
Beerus would begin to give him another blow again, making him fall to the ground. But this time all the internal organs of Goku were suffering an amazing damage, because the power with which Beerus was impacting his body was of another level.
The blows this time hurt me too much, but I'm not gonna give up. I have to be able to beat him.
Goku would stand up, but he would fall to his knees again, because the damage he had received was serious. Even his hair was beginning to lose that green luster, turning black again, and his power had plummeted in an amazing way.
Apparently you've reached your limits, Saiyan. You turned out to be very powerful, but not so powerful as to stand up to me, the most powerful god.
What is this that I feel? It's a warm power, but at the same time it feels like it burns my whole body. I have to be able to expel this power.
Beerus was starting to get closer to Son Goku, but to his surprise, he was able to feel how Goku's injured body was able to emanate the essence of a god. But this time, it was surprising pressure, which was able to spread throughout the Universe 7, but without causing destruction as the previous power.
I warned you, Mr. Beerus, that this is the same essence that I had felt a few moments ago, but on a much smaller scale of power.
Goku was able to access the Super Saiyan God, so the color of his hair had turned a reddish color. However, Goku seemed to be very confused.
Hey, what is this transformation? I've never accessed this power before. I even feel like my insides are burning with an amazing power, and I'm not able to feel my power.
You're a fool. That power you're emanating is the power of a god. How are you the Super Saiyan God I was looking for?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never accessed this power before. But what do you think if we continue with this struggle?
It seems excellent to me, because despite possessing the power of a god, your power has plummeted greatly.
Beerus quickly fell down against Goku, but Goku, at a much higher speed, was able to get on his forehead, starting to grant him a shower of blows, which this time were capable of causing great damage to the god Beerus. Goku, with a kick, would throw Beerus to the base of the planet, being dragged a few kilometers.
Wow, this power's amazing. I can't believe the power that I have been able to release in this transformation. While I don't feel my power, I'm able to feel my body full of energy.
Mr. Beerus, are you alright? Apparently the power of that Saiyan turned out to be much greater than his power, since he is in deplorable conditions.
Damn it. I don't plan to be defeated by a simple Saiyan. I have to be able to defeat him, even if I have to use the power beyond a god.
Beerus would rise into the atmosphere of the planet, beginning to release an amazing power. That's right, the power that Beerus was releasing on this occasion was capable of making the entire Universe 7 shudder.
Is this the pressure Kakarot was facing? But what happened to that Kakarot bug? For a few moments now, his ki had completely disappeared.
The gigantic power of Beerus had been expelled, or rather, the power beyond a god had been released. Beerus, being the most powerful god of all the universes, was the only one to activate the Ultra Instinct of 65% of all its capacity. But the consequences caused were incredible, since it was able to destroy every one of his bones.
Saiyan, I hope you're prepared, since I've never accessed this state with any being that has not been Whis. You're the first one I use it in a real battle.
Goku would put himself on guard, but despite being with his guard up, he wasn't able to make a dodge a powerful blow from Beerus, which sent him flying a few mountains, making him spit out large amounts of blood.
That hit or hurt me too much. I can't believe the power that he's able to release. But the weirdest thing, I haven't been able to read his movements.
What's going on? Why don't you attack? Are you afraid?
Goku in the same way would expel all the power which he was able to release in that state, with which he would begin to exchange thousands of attacks against the god. But despite granting him a few blows, Beerus was able to grant him in triple with much higher power, which with the passage of battle, one could observe the advantage of Beerus since all the energy system of Goku was torn to pieces. That's right, the energy transport is being very limited due to so much damage by the god. Goku, with his great speed, would take a little distance with a big gulp of blood was falling to the ground.
Damn it! What is this? His punches are causing me terrible damage. Although I try to predict his movements, I'm not able to achieve it. What changed in him?
While Goku was thinking about his strategy, Beerus, without giving him any chance, would lash out against Goku, starting to massacre him again with his great power. But this time, Goku wasn't able to do absolutely anything. Well, for a few moments I was worried about Mr. Beerus, but I didn't think that I would have to use the power beyond a god. Beerus, while lashing out at Goku, at the moment he would also fall to the ground, because the power beyond a god would begin to take its toll on him.
What the hell? It's only been 10 minutes since I activated the Ultra Instinct. This must not be happening to me.
Mr. Beerus has completely neglected himself, since this time he is receiving attacks in the same way, and they are not light attacks since the power of his enemy is incredible.
Damn, the damage this Saiyan's caused me. It's what makes my power start taking its toll on me so fast. Damn, I'll have to finish this battle in the next 2 minutes.
Beerus would stand up while releasing all the remaining of his power, while Goku would stand up even on this occasion, saw everything blurred.
Damn, the damage I received is of another level, so this is the power of a god of destruction is incomparable.
But in Goku's mind, he was able to observe the entire Saiyan Ra, even the prince of the Saiyans, the mighty Vegeta.
Kakarot, don't give up. Show how a low-class warrior is capable of even surpassing an elite warrior if he tries hard enough.
Goku would release all the power of his body resisted, and at the moment, he would throw a powerful dragon, which Beerus, with great difficulty, was able to dodge.
This battle's mine. You are defeated.
Beerus would immediately throw a powerful attack, which Goku had completely received, while the attack was able to destroy everything in its path. Goku would exclaim,
"This battle ends in a draw, god of destruction, Beerus."
Beerus, without being able to react, from his back, a greenish dragon was able to reach him completely, and instead of exploding, he would release hundreds of rays, which were not able to pass through his entire body, and despite possessing the Ultra Instinct, he wasn't able to do anything. So at the moment, both warriors fell to the ground out of combat. Well, I didn't expect this. A Saiyan, who has not received the training of an angel, was able to defeat the most powerful god of all universes. Whis would pick up both warriors, so he would leave for planet Earth quickly. Mr. Vegeta, apparently you know this Saiyan, so I leave it in your hands. We retire. Whis would retreat to the planet of Lord Beerus, so the moment he arrived, Whis, with the help of his staff, would begin to restore all the energies of Beerus. But even though Whis had restored each of his wounds, he had not awakened. Apparently the damage he's received is incredible, since even with this restored energies, he's not been able to wake up. Returning to planet Earth, Goku had received quickly a seed of recovery, with which he was able to heal each of his wounds and even obtain a powerful Zenkai.
That was amazing! So that's the power of a god, and even I was able to hear that I use the power beyond a god. I have to become much more powerful.
Hey, Bug, how are you able to possess all that great power? But Dimon, why wasn't I able to feel your power? Have you invented a new stealth technique?
Of course not, Vegeta. So I was able to find out the state I was able to access is known as the Super Saiyan God.
Vegeta would be surprised to learn that Goku had been able to take his body to a state beyond the mortal, being able to reach divinity.
Damn it. I'm not gonna stay behind your damn insect power. I'm gonna access the state of a god.
Of course you will, Vegeta, since we have to become very powerful, and for that, we have to be able to overcome each of our limits.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, this one, with a great leap, he was able to wake up being very confused.
Hey, Whis, what happened? How did we get to my planet? Is this a dream?
Of course not, Mr. Beerus. The power of that Saiyan was so great that he caused enough damage to even knock you out.
Are you telling me that I lost?
No, Mr. Beerus, as both were knocked out at the same time, so the duel ended in a draw.
Damn, I can't believe it. I'm the mighty god of destruction. I ended up with a draw with a mere mortal. This I can't believe.
Mr. Beerus, it would be better to return to training, since as I can tell, the Saiyan has started training again.
That's right, Whis. I want to get back to training and push my limits to beat that Saiyan in our next match.
This was how Whis would start training Beerus again. However, the gigantic power of Goku had been able to wake up a powerful legendary warrior who had been asleep since the beginning of time. A powerful warrior had awakened after his great dream because he had felt the essence of one of his greatest rivals. That's right, this guy named Dante, the devourer of multiverses, had awakened after having had a great battle against the god Omni Ultra Saiyan, which to everyone's surprise was the ancestor of Goku. For that reason, all the hidden power that Goku possessed could be explained.
Apparently, the offspring of the cursed Yamoshi was able to transmit itself, despite having spent millions of years, and they still retain in their being the power of the Omni Ultra Saiyan. I will have to absorb them to return to my most powerful state.
That devourer of multiverses would begin to enter the multiverse of Zeno-sama. of which Daishinkan realized that an extremely gigantic and equally evil power had been able to destroy his angelic barriers as if they were simple sheets of paper.
What the hell was that? The power that is perceived by all the universes is amazing. Even I find it hard to stay on my feet.
That's right, the simple pressure of that warrior was able to end the lives of hundreds of planets due to all this negativity that radiated from his body. So even the gods and angels had too many difficulties to be able to stand up. So each of the angels accompanied by their gods were able to enter multiple dimensions, not to receive that pressure, which was even able to cut their breath. However, among the universes, a single warrior, he was able to stand up without any difficulty. And this mysterious warrior was Son Goku, which the essence of the powerful god Omni Ultra Saiyan slept inside.
I feel slight pressure on my body, but this will help me improve my skills to be much more, and to be able to become much more powerful.
But on the whole planet of Earth was beginning to destroy itself due to the pressure. Vegeta realizing this, and even though he wasn't able to move freely, he would use all his power and even his own body to protect the whole planet of Earth, his family. But Vegeta's power was useless because that negativity was consuming it as if he were a simple insect. Moreover, but before Vegeta was devoured, Goku would disappear before that great essence because being able to disintegrate it with simple expulsion of his aura.
Damn, I thought that pressure and essence was part of my training, but I could feel like thousands of planets are eradicated by this pressure.
I have finally located you, Cursed. Apparently, all the Saiyan Omni have in their veins to protect all the universes. For that reason, I knew that you would go out to protect these pathetic universes.
Dante, despite being weakened, was able to move at an amazing speed. But if we compare his current speed with that of the past, it's like comparing a turtle and a rabbit. However, for the warriors of those universes, the speed of that warrior was still incomparable. So a powerful warrior had arrived in Universe 7, specifically to planet Earth. So he would begin to descend to the ground and prostrate himself face to face with the warrior who emanated such essence.
I can tell that you are the success of one of my great rivals, and the one only to be able to leave me in this pathetic state. So I need all your power to recover all my energy.
Do you think I'll give it to you so easily? I intend to end you, since you have ended thousands of innocent lives, and that I do not intend to forgive you, miserable.
You are very talkative. Despite not possessing the necessary power to confront me, you have not awakened even 5% of all the Omni-God Saiyan.
I don't know what you mean, but I'm not gonna let you destroy any more planets, and I'm gonna stop you, even if I have to leave my life on the battlefield.
Goku would begin to expel all his power by possessing the key of a god. He was able to access the Super Saiyan Blue. Although he wasn't able to dominate it 100%, his power was much greater. Goku would put himself in a battle pose, and despite being up with his guard, he wasn't able to dodge multiple blows that Dante had given him in thousandths of a second.
This is amazing. I wasn't able to see anything. The power of that guy is incomparable.
Vegeta would say this to himself while Goku had been sending to fly hundreds of meters, but he hadn't been able to see anything since Goku vomited huge amounts of blood, while all his organs seemed to explode.
How's it possible that he attacked me with all that speed? I wasn't able to see anything.
As far as I can tell, you possess an incredible resistance, since those blows were capable of ending the life of even a god of destruction of supreme level.
That won't be enough for you to beat me. This time I'll turn to my attack, so I hope you're ready. I'm gonna finish you!
Goku had thrown himself against that warrior. However, each of his blows were neutralized with incredible ease. So much so that he saw Goku as if he were a simple child compared to all his power. Goku, realizing that he was wearing out his energy, would retreat a few meters.
What the hell? Who is this bastard supposed to be? From what I'd understood, the god is the maximum and most powerful authority in the universe. But this guy surpasses the power of Beerus by 10 times.
Maybe you're tired of making a fool of yourself already. But for your bad luck, I want to have fun with you before I eat all your power and essence.
Dante would begin to move at an amazing speed, by which he would instantly connect multiple blows, which Goku likewise wasn't able to see anything, because being sent to the ground, creating a huge explosion by the impact.
Get this, you infernal ball of destruction!
A big attack was heading towards Goku and all the other warriors. However, Goku, when trying to stop it, even his body was affected and wrapped in that big sphere, which seemed that end of Goku had come. Vegeta, despite being with multiple wounds, would stand in front of the whole planet Earth.
I don't care if I die. I'm not gonna go to the other world without a fight. I'm not gonna let you end my family's life. You are a simple trash beside me. You will not be able to do anything against me. So, for your bad luck, I will finish you with one blow.
Vegeta would put himself in a battle pose, however he wasn't able to see anything, and the hand a few centimeters from hitting his heart had been stopped by Goku's palm, which with a supernatural force was able to make him fall to the ground. Superficially it seemed to have been a great attack, but for Dante's resistance it had been nothing.
So this is the power of an Omni Saiyan God, but apparently I'm not able to control it. But I have the time to finish this dam.
Flashback. The great attack had been about to take the life of Son Goku. He was able to release all his hidden power, even accessing his greenish hair transformation. But inside, a new energy path had been unlocked, observing a being identical to him, so Goku would put himself in a battle pose.
Where am I? Who are you?
The subject would start to get closer, but the closer he got, the pressure increased in a big way.
Apparently, you've been able to awaken the power of the Omni Saiyan. You being the last descendant of the powerful Yamoshi. The power runs with more intensity inside you, Kakarot.
What? I don't understand anything. Who are you? And how do you know my Saiyan name?
These are easy questions to answer. I'm Bardock, your father. And like you, I possess the power of the Super Omni Saiyan God. But not with the same intensity as you. But I could teach you to access a small part of that power.
Damn, I've finally been able to meet my father. We find ourselves in this pathetic situation. I can't let my loved ones die.
I know, my son. All our ancestors share the same likeness. We are protectors, so I will give you a little of all the power that belongs to you. But you must train, since you are the key piece in the final battle.
Bardock was able to grant him the required knowledge so that Goku is able to access that state. And flashback. Dante had recovered from that pressure, but he was surprised to realize how Goku's body continued to release an amazing power. While everything began to shake, even hundreds of planets were destroyed by such power.
Whose is all this power? I can't believe it. That energy warrior is located near that warrior.
Daishinka would quickly communicate with all the gods so that they would quickly provide support to that warrior.
Gods and angels, I want you to quickly head to the planet Earth of Universe 7. We will already go in 5 minutes, because the King of All is ascending his combat form.
However, all the gods, including the angels, when they left that dimension, their bodies were pulled to the ground as if they were simple ants.
Daishinka-sama, we're not able to withstand all this pressure, as he's even able to completely neutralize us. We're sorry.
All the gods, together with their angels, would return to the dimension, but Daishinkan would be amazed because the warriors of planet Earth would move without difficulty.
This is very strange. I'm sure that this warrior's responsible for all this. And in the same way, I'm 90% that the entity was looking for this warrior.
Goku, as he continued to increase his power, several marks were drawn all over his body, which left Dante surprised because those marks represented all the power of the Omni God Saiyan. But when Goku created a big explosion, he could observe with his silver hair and several marks that covered his body and face.
You are still incomplete. The true God Omni was able to turn his hair as a green color, implying his infinite power. You are nothing.
Goku, without saying a single word, would throw himself against him, being able to grant him the first effective blow. However, Goku had also received a powerful kick, being sent flying, while his enemy had only retreated a few meters.
I don't like this. Even if Kakarot's power has been increased in that incredible way, you won't be able to defeat him. But he is our last salvation. Vegeta would try to communicate with Goku, but it was impossible for him, since the difference of his powers was incredible. Damn, I have to look for the perfect opportunity since Kakarot will be commissioned to annihilate this guy.
The battle of both warriors looked very equal. That's right, Goku had been able to access his level increase millions of times more. But this was also unfavorable since each of his bones as well as his organs were being destroyed to his body, not being able to withstand all that increase in power. By the same circumstance, Goku was beginning to lose the advantage, being the one who received more and more blows. Atomizing blows. Dante's blows were boosting with lightning, so despite charging more energy, they were also much faster. So the blows that Goku received caused him tremendous damage, falling to the ground, almost losing consciousness. Damn, I don't think it'll end well this way. I'll grant you a hit with all my power. Dante, when approaching from the front, he did not have any guards, so Goku collected all the remaining power, throwing his most powerful blow at him, creating a powerful dragon which would wipe out everything in its path. Dante would try to stop him, but it was very quickly difficult for him. Goku would fall to the ground out of combat, so Vegeta would quickly approach Goku.
Kakarot, you are and will be our salvation. I'll send you to another dimension. We'll trust you.
Vegeta, with his maximum speed, would enter Goku into the Room of Time, granting him a little of his energy. And at the moment of closing the door, he would destroy the entire door.
I know you'll fight a way out, Kakarot. You're the best warrior I've ever met. I trust you, insect.
Vegeta would return to the battlefield, realizing that Dante was with multiple wounds all over his body, but he still had great power to stay on the battlefield.
Damn worm. Now I'm going to finish you. That attack has caused me great damage, so I'll leech you right this instant.
Dante, no matter how much he was looking for Goku, he wasn't able to locate him, so he had headed towards Vegeta quickly, holding him by the neck.
Where did that bastard go? You can end me in this whole universe, but Kakarot's insect will end you. You need power to face the most powerful Saiyan.
Furious, Dante would pulverize Vegeta, just as he had exploded the entire planet Earth into 1,000 pieces. Meanwhile, in the Room of Time, being a very different dimension, Goku was safe and sound, but his whole body was in pieces due to the excess energy of the Super Saiyan God Omni. Goku's entire body was completely shattered as he had pushed his body to the limit, so he would start meditating to be able to heal most of his wounds, but despite his meditation, his internal energy would still be out of control. I have to get the control of all my power, because otherwise I'll explode, and I won't let him get away with it. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of All, Daishinka was very nervous as well as he was too surprised to realize how a warrior from Universe 7 had been able to give battle to that gigantic power.
This is bad. The power of that warrior is unmatched, and we'll not be able to do anything against him. But we have to communicate with such a warrior.
Daishinka would try to establish a connection with Son Goku, but it was impossible for him because he was in another dimension. Although this should not be a problem for the High Priest, the main problem was Goku's power, which was at deplorable levels.
In that case, I'll have to communicate with the god Beerus of the universe. He must have knowledge of a warrior of such power since he will be our.
Daishinka would begin to quickly move towards the dimension where all the gods were, but as he was about to arrive, he'd be hit by some extremely powerful blows by Dante, the multiverse devourer, who was able to feel the essence of a priest.
You good-for-nothing worm. I wanted you to give me information about the ultimate Omega Saiyan god. After all our battle, he completely disappeared.
Daishinka, without being able to breathe in the same way, was surprised, but with a big blow, he was able to move away a little.
I can't believe that what this warrior said. It was said that the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan God was impossible for any Saiyan. In fact, it was even said that it was simple fairy tales. So for that reason, that Saiyan was able to face him.
Dante would begin to approach Daishinka, which, with each of his footsteps, planets of the 12 universes were destroyed by such an increase in power, so that after a few moments, both warriors were face to face. Daishinka in the same way would expel all his power. The power of the great priest would be felt by each of his children, who, when using their staves, were surprised because their father, for the first time, resorted to using 100% of all his abominable power.
This is amazing! Who is that warrior that even forces our father to use all his power?
Hey, Whis, we don't have to help the High Priest because even though he possesses all that amazing power, I don't think he'll be able to beat that warrior.
Are you implying that our father's weak?
Watch your words, God. Don't care that Whis is the most powerful angel. I'll defend my father's pride.
But everyone was amazed when they realized how Daishinkan had been sent to a planet which would explode with simple contact, while his opponent laughed like a maniac.
What happened? I thought the priest of this multiverse would have much more power, since you are the last priest of the 4 multiverse.
Daishinkan would have tried to recover from that powerful blow, however, he had received incredible damage with just one of the blows of that monster.
How is it possible that this is happening? And most of all, I can't believe that you were able to end the lives of the remaining 3 priests. Didn't your father tell you about me? I introduced myself. My name's Dante, and I'm known as the Multiverse Eater.
Daishinkan would panic as he remembered his father's words.
My son, in all this multiverse, there is one warrior whom we should not face, and his name is Dante, the devourer of multiverses, since there's no warrior who's been able to defeat him. No, this is a nightmare. You must not be Dante, since there was no information that you're still alive. You're lying! I care very little if you believe me or not. The only thing I inform you is that I plan to end this whole multiverse. They don't bring me the Omega Ultra Saiyan.
But at the moment, an angel very powerful would stand by Daishinkan. That's right, it was Whis who had absorbed the power of all his other brothers, as well as the power of each of the gods of the 12 universes. Don't worry, father. Between the 2 of us, we'll be able to do something against this wretch. We won't let him wipe out everything existing.
One more piece of garbage. That won't do any good, since I, compared to you, am a lion while you are simple ants.
FYI, if we unite our powers, we'll be able to beat you, miserable.
No, Whis. Run away from here. It's impossible to face this warrior. The only warrior to be able to defeat him is the Saiyan of Universe 7.
Are you referring to Son Goku? I always knew that he hides great power, but still not able to decipher because he possesses all that power.
Do you even know him, Whis?
That's right, father. That warrior faced Lord Beerus in a friendly battle, which both were equal, but the power that was recently felt has something familiar with that Saiyan.
Whis, it doesn't matter that we fall on the battlefield, but I want you to communicate with that warrior and give him the knowledge required to increase his power.
As you wish, father. Give me 1 minute, please.
My life is not interested, Whis. I want you to grant him all the knowledge, since he will be the salvation of everything existing.
Daishinkan would begin to exchange millions of blows against Dante, but the difference in powers was incomparable, since the blows that Daishinkan was able to grant him did not cause any great damage, only a few scratches, unlike the blows that Dante granted, destroying every bone and vein of energy, while after a few moments, Whis was able to communicate with Goku. Mr. Goku, I'm the Angel Whis, the Master of the God Destroyer of Universe 7. I inform you that the planet Earth will be destroyed by Dante. My father have informed me that you are the hope of the 12 universes, so I'll grant you with the required knowledge. Whis, despite being in another dimension, was able to grant him the required knowledge, and he was able to do it, because on this occasion, Goku's power was no longer so weakened. So at the moment, all the knowledge of an angel, including the knowledge of the Great Priest, would be transferred to Goku, which, due to the excess of information, would become unconscious. It's done, father. I know we won't be able to face this monster, but we won't die without a fight. Both angels began to fight against Dante, but despite being at a disadvantage, they were not able to defeat him. The warrior, who was able to destroy 3 other multiverses, however, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Zeno-sama would notice strong exhortations of energy, so he would head towards where these disasters were perceived, accompanied by both guardians, but at the moment of arriving, what happened with everyone happened with Zeno-sama, because at the moment of observing him, he would go into absolute panic, stopping the battle. Mighty Dante, I know that we're no match for you, but please spare our lives. We promise to serve you.
Well, it's the little king of the whole of this multiverse. That's a surprise.
Zeno-sama would remember in the same way as Dante was able to easily end the life of the all-powerful king, and Zeno-sama, who was considered the all-weaker king, would not have a chance. Okay, I spare your lives as long as you bring me, the warrior who possesses the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan.
But Lord, that's impossible, since that power is only a legend.
You're wrong, Zeno, because the power of that warrior really exists. So I want you to look for him, because his predecessor left me wounds, which to this day I'm not able to heal, and I need the power of him.
I understand. We'll do our best. Daishaken and Whisk, come with me.
The trio of warriors would quickly leave.
My lord, it's better to die on the battlefield than to be under the orders of that miserable.
I think the same as my father. We have to be able to get in touch with Mr. Goku.
Who's Goku? And no, we'll not fight because Dante will not end our lives. Dante stays with all our divine root, so we will live inside a fate worse than death.
I understand on that occasion. We just have to make time, and Mr. Goku is the warrior who possesses the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan. Zeno-sama would be surprised because even for him it was something surprising, since only legends of that overwhelming power were heard. Returned to the room of time, Goku was able to wake up, but with a strong headache, and at the moment his gaze would change to a much more serious look.
The deities of this universe were never evil. They just wanted to become much more powerful like me. But I will not forgive that guy who finished with my planet and my friends.
Goku would begin to meditate, and with the knowledge of his father, the angels had granted him, he was able to access the Ultra Instinct. In a matter of months, something that was extremely impossible since he was a mere mortal, but the power that he gave off in the Ultra Instinct was a power that very hardly any god or angel could face.
The power I'm getting is amazing, but I have to be able to access the Ultra Omega God Saiyan. I have to end that miserable one once and for all.
Goku would continue his arduous training. Meanwhile, in the 12 universes, they had plunged into extreme slavery, even the gods and angels.
I don't know where you are, but I'm in the 12 universes looking for something like you worm. So you better be prepared. He can't stand that this wretch treats us like his slaves and annihilates every being who's not willing to follow his orders.
Thus, 18 months had already passed in which Son Goku did not show signs of life, which was the beginning of Brother Dante, because he wanted to recover 100% of all his power. However, in all these months, Goku had been able to master his power completely. Moreover, he had even chosen to remain in his most primitive state, which was capable of even ending the life of a priest with a single blow, since even his tail gave him much more Saiyan power.
It's time, I'm ready. And I think even the Supreme who did me the favor of releasing all my power and the knowledge that I've obtained has helped me to obtain all this power. So it's time to get out of this place, put an end to that miserable.
Goku would begin to expel an amazing power, so much that the same dimension would begin to collapse, and even previously that this was impossible for him, since the very essence of Bardock used the last of his essence, so that he wouldn't be able to leave said dimension. If he was not able to overcome his power, Goku was able to make the dimension 1,000 pieces. So the instant to enter through the portal that had been created would appear directly in space, which would make him fill with an uncontrollable rage. Meanwhile, Dante, in an outburst of anger, would hold Beerus tightly.
You know that Saiyan's from your universe, so you better tell me where he is, or I'll end your pathetic life.
Furious, Daishaken wouldn't stand it anymore, so at a great speed give him a powerful blow, which he was able to make him retreat, granting several blows to both warriors.
On this occasion, I'll finish with you good for nothing.
Dante would start to create a giant sphere of energy, so he would throw it against everyone present.
I hope that this warrior is able to put an end to the evil of this guy.
But when everyone had accepted the inevitable end, Goku would appear in front of everyone, pulverizing Dante's attack, and with a very serious look would observe him.
I'm not gonna let you breathe one more day, because this very time, I'm gonna end your life completely.
Goku expelled a little more of his incredible power, which on this occasion left Dante very surprised since his power had risen in an unreal way. Goku would begin to walk towards where Dante was, while his power began to grow to incredible levels. Dante, a little annoyed, would also begin to rise his power, with which, on this occasion, he was able to cause the destruction of 12 universes, because his power was gigantic, but Goku was not the least bit.
I plan to use all my power against you. I remember what you told me about the Ultra Omega Saiyan, so on this occasion, I'll use the power beyond an Omega Saiyan.
Goku would expel all his power, but his appearance would not change in the slightest. However, the pressure that emanated from his entire body was incredible, so much so that on this occasion, all the pressure that was released was capable of even dimensional cracks forming throughout the multiverse, which had only been caused by two warriors, Yamoshi, the first Ultra Omega Saiyan, and Dante in his best state. But currently, it was impossible for him to.
Damn worm. I don't know what kind of trick you're using, but it's impossible for you to be able to cause all these catastrophes. So, I'll annihilate you in one fell swoop, and I'll keep your power.
Dante rushed against Goku, but the battle had taken an incredible turn, because on this occasion, Goku was able to stop his blow with only one of his hands. Even everyone present was surprised.
The power that the Saiyan has is incredible, but I don't remember that they reached this limit. In fact, it makes that guy look like he is weak.
That's right, but if we leave the energy field that he has created for us, his pressure alone will be capable of destroying every one of our bones.
So I finally have the fortune to meet Son Goku. This is amazing. I never thought that the power of that Saiyan would go so far.
Both warriors continued to exchange thousands of blows all over the place, but both were very evenly matched, which infuriates Dante since this guy's been training for no more than 100 years. Unlike Dante himself, who had led a life full of training to be able to become the most powerful warrior.
I'm not gonna let you make fun of me. I'm gonna end you right now.
Dante would expel much more power than his body itself was able to withstand. So at that moment of a big explosion, Dante's attacked Goku. But this time Goku was able to dodge each one of his blows. That's right, although Dante's power has grown enormously, his speed had been affected. So Goku would take that advantage, being able to connect a powerful blow, making him fall to the ground, causing a big explosion all over the place.
What's going on? Is that all the power of the so-called multiverse eater?
Dante would try to stand up, but it was impossible for him, since his whole body was in pieces. That's right, Goku in each blow that he connected successfully injected the energy of the Ultra Omega God. So Dante in each course of the battle was only becoming a time bomb, until Goku decides when to explode it.
Ugh, I can't believe it. Why, a legendary warrior be defeated again by a Saiyan, and the most fruitful, a Saiyan who hasn't spent his whole life training.
Goku was starting to get closer to Dante, so Dante would throw thousands of energy attacks, which were all directed towards Goku. They seemed to be thousands, but Goku, just by expelling his aura a little, was able to disintegrate each of his attacks.
This is incredible. This is completely humiliating Dante, the warrior who is said to know no rival at this time.
Apparently he has been saved by all the knowledge that we have granted him, Father.
I don't think so, Whis. Since the power he's using, I don't know. So that means that the Saiyan had been able to get that power on his own.
That's impossible, since to get all that in such a short period of time. But I'm glad I'm still able to put an end to the reign of that miserable. Dante, as if he were a mere mortal, he was receiving a beating from Goku, who, in each exchange of blows, was able to take away his divinity. That's right, for that reason, Dante's power began to decrease in an incredible way. But at the moment that Dante would fall to the ground again, blood spread from all over his body.
My blood. This can't be. How many millions had to elapse for a subject to be able to harm me like this?
Dante would enter a state of shock, so his power, as if it were magic, would begin to increase again. But something strange was happening, since the negative power of the 12 universes and even the 4 multiverses was entering Dante's body. So the level he was reaching was an incredible power, which on this occasion even made Goku nervous. So instantly he tried to explode it, but to his surprise, absolutely nothing would happen.
Damn it! With the power he's getting, my energy hasn't been enough. So that's the real power of Dante, the devourer of multiverses.
Dante would continue with his increase in power. That's right, the power that was perceived all over the place seemed to have no limit. However, Goku was a little confident.
If only by pushing her body to the limit her speed was comprised in that way. With this power, she won't be able to move.
Dante, of a great explosion, was able to expel all his power, but to everyone's surprise, his appearance had completely changed. That's right, and the same negative energy had given him a body much more resistant and to maintain an incredible speed, since his new appearance was much thinner while wearing an absolutely black suit.
I don't know what the hell happened to me, but with this power, I have planned to finish you, dare mortal.
Dante, at the moment, from one of his hands was able to create an incredible vacuum all over the place, which even looked like a black hole. But Goku would activate his pressure so that the gravity wouldn't be able to absorb them. But all over the place, a maniacal laughter could be heard.
I don't know what the hell happened, but this power is amazing.
Dante, like a flash, was able to heal a tremendous blow to Goku, which on this occasion had caused him incredible damage. So much so that even his sea of energy had stopped for a few thousandths of a second, which was impressive.
Ah, and it hurt me too much. What happened to it?
But without Goku being able to recover completely, he would begin to receive a shower of blows. On the part of Dante, the battle had completely turned around, since Dante, being about to die, was able to release a much greater power. So at the moment, Goku would be thrown to a planet, completely destroying. Goku would try to recover in one of the debris of the planet, but Dante would not grant him the necessary time, since Goku was involved in a shower of blows again.
Multiverse, destroying fists.
Dante's fists were strengthened much more, with which, on this occasion, even his internal energy was being affected.
Apparently not even the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan was able to protect us this time.
No, Father, there was something strange, because if you look closely in every exchange of blows, Mr. Goku can be observed as he smiles.
Whis, don't say stupid things. Goku is getting beat up. We better come up with a plan to finish that fucker before he's tired.
But at that moment, as if he were a miracle, Dante would come out again against the ground with millions of wounds all over his body, while in the sky a negative aura was formed.
Did you think that you were the only one to master negative energy? And I'm amazed by the power I possess now, so you better say goodbye to this world.
No, I can't lose, much less with all this power, so I'll annihilate you.
Dante and Goku began to exchange millions of blows, but Goku, without trusting himself and taking the battle much more seriously, he would begin to finish with each of Dante's bones. He even on this occasion did not damage his energy veins. On the contrary, he destroyed them with every blow he gave him, which would cause too much blood to flow all over the place.
I really am not able to assimilate the power that warrior possesses, because despite receiving those blows, he has not been bent. I can't believe it.
Goku would start walking towards Dante, which on this occasion his temperament had changed drastically, since his whole being asked him to flee the place, so Dante would kneel, beg, so that Goku would be able to forgive his life. But the instant that Dante raised his gaze, he could only observe the silhouette of the same death.
I can't forgive your life, since you ended up with innocent people and that has no forgiveness. So die.
Goku with a simple attack was able to destroy Dante completely, so at the moment he would approach all the gods.
It's finally over, but I want to keep getting much more powerful.
Mr. Goku, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, but would you like to train for one of the most powerful warriors of the 12 universes?
And what do I have to do? Will I have to fight with powerful warriors?
That's right. You'll even fight with warriors from different timelines, so we want a powerful warrior to represent us.
In that case, of course I accept. But I would like to revive all my family and loved ones who were annihilated by Dante's dam.
Well, there's no problem, because thanks to Zeno-sama, we've gathered the Super Dragon Balls, with which we can make everything go back to normal.
Daishoken would invoke the powerful god Zama, with which they were able to restore everything caused by Dante. Each planet of the 12 universes had returned to normal, so Goku would return to planet Earth.
After all, you're right, Kakarot. We're always having to keep training in case a warrior as powerful as that damn one shows up again.
Of course, Vegeta, but would you like to participate in a tournament with more powerful beings of the different timelines?
I didn't understand anything you told me. What do you mean by that?
Goku would explain everything to him, so the warriors went to the time room, so that Vegeta would also be able to awaken the power of Saiyan God. Goku would start training Vegeta, in which Goku's power would not increase in the slightest, since he was focused on teaching everything to the Prince of the Saiyans. Meanwhile, on the planet of the god Beerus, both deities were talking about everything that happened.
Whis, what do you think will happen from now on, since even Goku's much more powerful than the king of all Zeno-sama?
I have no idea, Mr. Beerus, but by our fortune, Mr. Goku's heart does not possess absolute evil, so we can rest easy. But for all the 12 universes, 2 gigantic powers would be present. That's right, Goku was even able to transmit a little of his power to the Prince of the Saiyans, with which it was enough for him to awaken all his power completely. He reached a very different state from Goku, but several Omni marks would be present all over his body.
I appreciate it, Kakarot. Now I'll be able to protect my family from any threat.
And I took care of protecting all the 12 universes, and we're prepared for those warriors from the other timelines. Hehehe. Now, how interesting.
Daishinkan would appear in front of both Saiyans, being surprised.
Daishinkan, we both will be the warriors that'll represent this multiverse, and we'll have new adventures.
And that's how Goku and Vegeta got together and put on high the multiverse of the great Zeno-sama. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the devourer of worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up.
Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction.
Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis's, creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The 3 powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
You can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The destroyer god sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the Destroyer God. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict.
Do you have anything to say, Ryuk?
Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishinkan, the High Priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. The Sphere of Divine Containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishinkan continued to explain the importance of keeping the Sphere of Divine Containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishinkan shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There is still work to be done.
If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the Sphere of Divine Containment. Daishinkan, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Kaio-sama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Kaio-sama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Kaio-sama with serious and determined expressions. Kaio-sama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Kaio-sama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Kaio-sama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot! It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z Warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground, humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z Warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z Warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, 3 warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the 3 warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun.
I don't know who you are, but we'll not allow you to harm our planet!
Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black, malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield.
Kaizen!
In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchmen lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy. Do not underestimate the strength of androids. With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination. Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think. The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z Warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders.
So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaio-sama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tenshinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z Warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tenshinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z Warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tenshinhan, 2 people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Tenshinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Ten Shinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchman, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z Warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut." Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans. "Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?" Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. "Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!"
Come on, God of Darkness. Show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness.
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances. "Vegeta, it's time to go further!"
Huh, of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z Warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan. "Vegeta,
This guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better.
Of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do?
Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans.
Final flash!
The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact.
His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang attack!
Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong.
We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No! I haven't taken complete control yet!
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form, but now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Baomut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Baomut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami!
Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Baomut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after alerting the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami! I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Bahamut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyan's fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option. I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Tenshinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Tenshinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Tenshinhan! Chaos!
Tenshinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Tenshinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Tenshinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Tenshinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tenshinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tenshinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Tenshinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that. Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami. But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination. "Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god."
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed the situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them. But the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed. "Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together."
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity. They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta! The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta! Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors.
Dad, Vegeta, we're here to help. Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable.
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, we all trust you. Let's defeat this enemy together.
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused! I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined!
In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds.
Gah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned, we can't let this continue.
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright? Yes, but we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this.
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy, something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
The confrontation between Gohan in his Super Saiyan Phase 3 form and Takagami marked a drastic change in the intensity of the battle. The skies, previously serene, witness of the confrontation, darkened with the energy unleashed by both combatants, and each blow resounded like thunder in the vast and silent cosmic space, defying the tranquility of the stars watching from a distance. The explosions of energy briefly illuminated the darkness, creating a chaotic and majestic spectacle at the same time. The flashes of light and shadow intertwined in a frantic dance that reflected the ferocity of the combat. The shockwaves spread out in the distance, distorting space itself and recalling the magnitude of the power unleashed on that battlefield. Each movement was a ballet of strength and dexterity, with Gohan and Takagami challenging each other in a battle that transcended the physical, entering the realms of the mystical and the epic. Their cries of determination were lost amid the din of battle, but their spirits echoed in every exchange of blows, making it clear that this confrontation was not just for dominance or survival, but for the legacy of their lineages and the protection of their worlds. Gohan, his eyes shining with an indomitable determination, channeled all his power in every movement, leaving a trail of energy that shimmered with a force that defied the limits of the unimaginable. His taut muscles, his golden aura glowing with intensity, made him an unstoppable force that sought justice and protection for all those he loved and defended.
You will not escape my justice, Takagami! My determination's like an unbreakable torrent that'll sweep away any darkness you try to sow. Every blow I throw carries with it the strength of all those I protect and defend. I'll not rest until the truth shines on every shadow you've woven with your deceptions. Get ready to face the justice I bring.
Gohan roared with fiery fury, his voice echoing across the battlefield like an echo of the very protective will drive him. Every blow he threw carried with it the emotional burden of years of struggle and sacrifice, the determination of a hero willing to do anything for the well-being of his world and his loved ones. On the other hand, Takagami, with his characteristic agility and calculated cunning, dodged Gohan's attacks with fluid and precise movements. His cold and calculating gaze contrasted with the ferocity of the Saiyan, unveiling an enemy who did not underestimate the threat he faced.
Interesting. I see that the power of the Saiyan pride still burns deep in your being, Gohan, but let me tell you this. However intense it may be, will not be enough to defy the chains of your inevitable fate.
Between each exchange of blows and dodges, the battlefield turned into an epic scenario where two titans collided, not only with their bodies but with their convictions and purposes. The fate of both was intertwined in a deadly dance where determination, skill, and strength merged in a conflict that transcended the physical and went deep into their warriors' souls. The clash of energies was so intense that the Z warriors felt the pressure and overwhelming weight of the unfolding confrontation. The magnitude of the conflict resonated in every corner of the known universe, like an echo of power that transcended planetary barriers and penetrated the very heart of those who were fighting for survival and justice. The fluctuations in ki were palpable, even to those watching from a distance, like a symphony of opposing forces colliding in a chaotic but harmonious dance. Every member of the Z Warriors could feel the electricity in the air, the tension that preceded every strategic move and every heartbreaking blow. The earth trembled under the influence of the unleashed energy, as if the world itself was responding to the duel of titans being waged on its surface. The skies darkened even more, as if the universe itself was holding its breath at the magnificence and terror of that epic contest. In those moments of crisis, the Z Warriors' determination grew even stronger, fueled by the urgency to protect what they loved and to face any adversity with courage and conviction. It was a reminder that during chaos and destruction, the human spirit could shine with an unshakable light. Piccolo, with his strategic mind sharper as a razor, watched every move with meticulous attention. Every gesture, every spark of unleashed energy carried with it the promise of a decisive change during the battle. His intense and serene gaze concealed a precise calculation as he searched for the perfect opportunity to intervene in support of his disciple. Piccolo, with his gaze lost on the horizon as he pondered the situation deeply, added in a calm but determined voice,
Gohan is channeling an incredible power right now. If we manage to amplify their energy and coordinate a joint attack, we could tip the scales in our favor and find the opportunity we need to change the course of this battle.
His mind worked like a meticulous clock, evaluating possibilities and strategies during the chaos that was unleashed in front of him. Meanwhile, at the epicenter of the conflict, Gohan and Takagami continued their titanic duel, each determined to impose their will and determination on the other. Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan Stage 3 not only gave him enormous strength, but also imposed a demanding tribute in terms of energy and physical endurance. Gohan, his breathing agitated by the effort and intensity of the moment, expressed with determination in his voice between short breaths,
His power! It's overwhelming! But I must stand firm! I can't fail!
Every word resonated with an unwavering commitment as he prepared to face the ordeal ahead of her, his aura glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and relentless resolve. His spirit stood like a burning flame during the storm, braving adversities with a determination that sprang from the core of his being. On the other hand, Takagami, with his arrogant smile and calculated movements, responded to every attack of Gohan with an inordinate confidence in his own dexterity and power. Takagami, with a voice imbued with superiority and a tone that denoted his absolute confidence in his words, defiantly replied,
Admiral, but naive. Your determination's remarkable, Gohan, but you must understand that no force in this universe can change your destiny.
His voice resonated with an assurance that seemed to defy all opposition, marking a gap between confidence in his power and Gohan's will. His self-assurance was impenetrable as the toughest steel, a psychological barrier that defied even the storms of energy roaring around him. The confrontation was coming to a head as the Z Warriors, with a mixture of worry and palpable hope in their hearts, prepared to intervene at the precise moment that could change the course of the battle. Vegeta, with his intense and analytical gaze, watched every flash of power unleashed by Gohan with a mixture of admiration and concern in his eyes. Vegeta, with his analytical and sharp mind, was muttering to himself in a barely audible tone due to the palpable tension in the air.
Gohan's unleashing an incredible power.
His words were a whisper, charged with respect and concern, acknowledging the magnitude of the power that Gohan was unleashing at that critical moment.
But he must maintain control if he wants to survive this,
he added with a seriousness that reflected his experience in past battles and his understanding of the dangers of losing control over so much unleashed energy. Goku, the legendary warrior who knows the limits and beyond, nodded solemnly at Vegeta's words. Goku with a calmness that radiated experience and wisdom, recognized with respect in his voice. "We know what it's like to fight at the limit, but Gohan's showing exceptional courage that inspires us all." His words resonated with the depth of one who has faced countless challenges, understanding the nature of struggle and the sacrifice it entails. With admiration palpable in his tone, recognizing the courage and determination of his son during adversity, his voice, serene but full of respect, reflected the confidence in Gohan's potential to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, the energy flowing through Gohan was reaching its peak, manifesting itself in an impressive visual spectacle. Its golden aura radiated an intense light that illuminated the surrounding space, making even the distant stars seem to pale in comparison. Gohan, with a roar full of determination that echoed throughout the battlefield, exclaimed with fervor, addressed to his father and Vegeta,
"Father! Vegeta! All of you! This power is to protect you all!"
His voice carried with an emotional charge of his commitment to the protection of his loved ones, a promise that manifested itself in every flash of his glowing aura, and in every blow aimed at the darkness that threatened his world. His voice, echoing like an echo of hope amid the chaos of battle, his energy, instead of just being destructive, became a beacon of hope for his allies, instilling strength and determination in their hearts. The buildup of energy finally reached its peak when Gohan unleashed a combined attack so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space. The surprise on Takagami's face was palpable, reflecting the magnitude of the force unleashed by the young Saiyan.
Impossible! I can't believe the magnitude of your strength, Gohan! You've unweakened a power that defies all my expectations and strategies so far. But you haven't witnessed everything I can do yet. My abilities are not limited to what you've witnessed so far. And I still have cards to play in this game. Get ready to find out that I'm not as easy an opponent to defeat. The true essence of my power is about to be revealed, and I assure you that it'll surprise you. The battle's only just begun, young Saiyan.
The resulting explosion temporarily blinded everyone present, enveloping the battlefield in a dazzling light that eclipsed even the brightest stars in the firmament. As the luminescence slowly faded away, it revealed an impressive but also disturbing scene. Gohan, still in his Super Saiyan Stage 3 form, was still standing, his figure slender but visibly exhausted at the limit of his strength.
Was that enough?
He was panting between short breaths, his eyes reflecting a determination that defied the fatigue that overwhelmed him. But Takagami emerged from the rubble with a defiant smile on his face, was making it clear that the battle was far from over.
You're barely scratching the surface, Gohan. Your power is awesome, but you can't beat the darkness that is hanging over you. Your determination's commendable, but the real battle is beyond what you can imagine. My shadows are deeper. My power is vaster than you think. Get ready to face the true essence of the dark power.
Gohan's energy was fluctuating, a clear sign that his transformation was reaching its limit. The Z warriors watched with anxiety and determination as the battle reached a critical point. Victory seemed elusive, but their fighting spirit remained unwavering in the darkness that threatened to devour them all.
"No! I can't give up! This power! It's to protect everyone! To my family! To the earth!"
Each word came out between agitated breaths, but charged with an unwavering determination, revealing the deep sense of responsibility and love that drove their struggle. His voice, though weakened by the effort, resounded with a firmness that defined the adversities he faced.
Oh, what a pathetic nobility! Do you think you can fight my darkness with simple desires for protection? Your strength is impressive, but your naivety condemns you. Don't you understand that in this world, nobility and desires for protection are as fragile as glass in front of the tide? No matter how much power you possess, the darkness will always find a crack through which to infiltrate and corrupt everything you value. It's only a matter of time before you realize the futility of your efforts, Gohan.
Gohan, his aura flickering, braced himself for another assault, feeling every fiber of his being burning with determination. However, the accumulated fatigue and the marked wounds on his skin were beginning to take their toll. weighing like chains on his struggle. Every move was a battle against exhaustion and pain, a test of endurance that tested his courage and perseverance. The vision of Takagami, his implacable enemy, distorted slightly before his fatigued eyes, reflecting not only the tumult of the physical battle, but also the dark and twisted connection Takagami maintained with the source of power that fed him. This connection, like a cursed bond, gave Takagami a ruthless strength, but also dragged him into the maelstrom of corruption and out of control. During the fray, Gohan found himself facing not only a formidable opponent, but also the shadow of an evil influence that threatened to consume everything. Every blow thrown and blocked resonated with the intensity of an epic battle between light and darkness, between the determination of a hero and the seduction of a dark and forbidden power. Despite the adversities and uncertainty that surrounded him, Gohan clung to hope like the beacon in a storm, remembering the bonds of friendship and love that drove him to move forward. Every beat of his heart resonated with the will to protect what he valued most in the world, facing the challenge with courage and sacrifice, knowing that true strength lay in his indomitable spirit and in his determination to never give up in the face of the darkness that threatened his world and soul.
Gohan, don't wear yourself out too much. Stay focused and in control. Remember, that true strength lies not only in raw power, but in the ability to stay calm and think strategically amid chaos. Do not underestimate your opponent, and do not get carried away by blind rage. That determination must be backed by intelligence and control. Make every hit count, and don't get distracted from your goal.
His words, full of advice and warnings, sought to remind Gohan of the importance of the mind in battle, in addition to physical strength.
The Super Saiyan Phase 3 form consumes a lot of energy. Gohan needs to find a balance between his power and his stamina. He must learn to control the flow of his ki to maintain his strength without exhausting himself quickly. The key is efficiency. Every movement must be precisely calculated and executed to maximize the impact without wasting energy. It's a challenge to master this state, but if Gohan manages to find that harmony, his potential will be truly formidable.
His words, full of experience and knowledge, sought to guide Gohan towards a better understanding of how to use his power without compromising his endurance in battle. As Gohan and Takagami continued their confrontation, Goku's eyes, a symbol of hope for everyone, shone with determination during the intense strife. His strategic mind was working at full speed, analyzing every move of his son and enemies to find the perfect crack in Takagami's defense. Every glimmer in his gaze reflects years of training, epic battles, and an unwavering desire to protect those he loved. In the distance, Vegeta stood in a fighting position, his Saiyan pride burning like an unstoppable flame. His defiant aura and combat experience combined into a formidable force, ready to unleash his power at the precise moment. Piccolo, with his calculated serenity, was watching the battle with sharp eyes, ready to strategically intervene and balance the scales in favor of his comrades. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, were in the middle of the recovery process after the intense confrontation against Takagami. Despite their damage received, his determination did not waver. Both focused on channeling their ki with precision, taking advantage of every breath to restore their energies and strengthen their bodies. Goten, with his indomitable spirit and his face marked with determination, closed his eyes with concentration as he felt the flow of vital energy revitalize his fatigued muscles. "We have to be ready to return to the battle at any moment," he thought to himself, remembering the responsibility he shared with his friend Trunks to protect his family and his home. On the other hand, Trunks, with his mind focused and his ki shining with renewed intensity, was striving to reach an optimal state of recovery. "We can't afford to let our guard down," he reflected, aware of the challenges they still faced and the need to be prepared to face any adversity that stood in their way. Both young warriors knew that the battle was not over yet. With determination in their hearts and their ki channeling with precision, they were preparing for the next chapter in their fight for the protection of their world. "Gohan's giving his best. His strength and determination are impressive, but we need to find an opening to channel more energy towards him and empower his power to the fullest. We must all join forces and find a way to support him in this crucial battle. Our connection as a family and as a team is our greatest strength.
Let's make every hit and every effort count to protect our home and those we love.
His words, full of determination and hope, reflected his confidence in the team's ability to overcome any challenge when working together.
Your resistance is admirable, but useless. My power is absolute. No matter how much they fight, they won't be able to stop me. My strength is unshakable, and my determination relentless. There is no escape from my dominion. It's time for you to give up and accept your fate under my control.
Every word was loaded with arrogance and certainty as Takagami continued to unleash his dark power with ruthless ferocity. Gohan, with a superhuman effort, managed to deflect Takagami's attacks and counterattacked with a burst of brilliant energy. The collision of powers created a shockwave that shook the nearby atmosphere.
I will not allow you to destroy what I love. My bonds and my strength are greater than any darkness you could throw. I'm ready to face any challenge and overcome any obstacle to ensure a secure future for everyone. There will be no place for destruction in my world.
Your emotions make you weak, Gohan. The real strength lies in the darkness. Your love and your bonds are chains that prevent you from reaching your true potential. Don't you see that the darkness offers unlimited and unrestricted power? Abandon your illusions of grandeur, young Saiyan. Face the truth that only darkness can bring you true strength and absolute dominion over the world.
Every word was imbued with an icy arrogance and a fanatical belief in the corrupting power of darkness. Takagami sought to sow doubts and weakness in Gohan's mind, challenging his conception of strength and courage. The struggle became more intense with each pressing moment. Gohan, despite showing obvious exhaustion with every short breath, remained firm and undetermined, refusing to back down from the challenge Takagami posed. His eyes reflected an unwavering determination as he faced the malevolent machinations of his enemy. However, Takagami's evil cunning was revealed in all its magnitude when he began to manipulate the environment around him with dark mastery. The dark creatures had summoned with his sinister magic were already at the edge of the surface, ready to emerge and join the battle with uncontrollable ferocity. The air was charged with an ominous presence as the shadows of those creatures danced unexpectedly, eager to join the conflict and show their destructive power. Faced with the imminent threat, the Z warriors did not hesitate to prepare to face these creatures that represented an unknown but tangible danger. Vegeta, with his characteristic defiant tone, exclaimed as he adjusted his combat posture,
"I'll not allow those abominations to ruin our path to victory. It's time to show them the true power of a Saiyan."
Piccolo, the group's calm strategist, quickly assessed the situation and proposed a plan of action.
We're facing a cunning enemy who uses manipulation as a weapon. We must act with coordination and precision. Gohan, you now take care of containing the creatures. Vegeta, Goku, keep the pressure on Takagami and don't let him breathe easy.
Goku, with a determined smile on his face, nodded energetically.
We have it, Piccolo. I'm confident that together we can overcome any challenge that comes our way. We're going to give our best.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, who were always looking to prove their bravery, exchanged a look of complacency before joining the plan.
Yes, let's show these monsters what it means to be a real team.
Determination shone in the eyes of each Z warrior as they prepared for the upcoming showdown, their hearts resonating with the memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos's courageous sacrifice. Those moments of heroism and camaraderie resonated like an echo in their souls, reminding them of the price they sometimes had to pay to protect the world they loved. Goku, with a silent bow to his fallen friends, took a moment to remember his valuable lessons of courage and determination.
Our friend showed us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the strength to face any challenge. His sacrifice will not be in vain as long as we keep fighting and keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. Every blow we take, every obstacle we face is proof of our determination and our commitment to a better future. We'll not let his sacrifice be forgotten. Let's keep fighting with all our heart and spirit.
Vegeta, with an intense gaze fixed on the horizon, added solemnly,
Every battle teaches us something new. We must honor his memory by overcoming our limits, protecting this world, not only for ourselves, but for those who are no longer there.
Piccolo, the serene strategist, reflected on the importance of learning from each experience.
Every battle, every loss, strengthens us, and teaches us to be better warriors. Let's move forward with determination and wisdom.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, full of energy and competitive spirit, exchanged a look of respect towards the heroes of the past.
We're going to make their bravery and sacrifice worthwhile. We'll fight with everything we have.
The memory of Ten Shin Han and Chaos became a flame that fanned the determination and fighting spirit of the Z Warriors. With their hearts united in a common purpose, they prepared to face the next challenge with the strength of those who came before them, ready to write the next chapter in the history of defending the Earth against the forces of evil. The battle reached unprecedented levels of intensity, with every move unleashing a wave of energy that shook the battlefield. Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, led the charge against the emerging shadows, channeling his ki into powerful explosions that dispelled the creatures one after another. Every flash of light harbored the determination to protect their loved ones and their home from the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Mr. Piccolo, behind you! Watch your back! The enemy's trying to surprise us with sneak attacks! We can't afford to let our guard down for 1 second in this battle! Our togetherness is our greatest strength, and together we'll overcome any challenge that comes our way! I trust in your strategic wisdom, Mr. Piccolo, but I'm also here to support you in every move! Let's move forward with determination and protect what we value with all our might!
Piccolo responded quickly, deflecting the attack with an energy shield.
Thank you, Gohan. Your quick alertness and attention to detail are crucial in this battle. Our coordination and communication are what will keep us one step ahead in the face of our enemies. Let's keep working together. Every move counts in this matchup.
By his side, Piccolo displayed his tactical ingenuity with mastery, drawing lines of defense and counterattack with pinpoint accuracy. His strategies were like chess moves on the battlefield, anticipating the enemy's moves and coordinating attacks to maximize the impact. Between them, an almost perfect synchronicity is woven, where Gohan's brute force found balance at Piccolo's strategic cunning.
Vegeta, get ready for our combined attack! We can't hold any back anymore! It's time to deploy all our power and show them what we're capable of! Together, we're unstoppable, Vegeta! Let's prove once again why we're the most powerful Z warriors in the universe! Let's go!
You don't need to tell me, Kakaroto. I'm always ready for the combat. Our combined power will overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Get ready to witness the true strength of the Saiyan race. Let's go!
Every clash of powers, every rumble of explosions resounded like a chant of resistance, bravery during chaos. The bonds of camaraderie and trust between the Z Warriors were strengthened by adversity, reminding them that together they were more than the sum of their individual abilities. In this ballet of strength and strategy, where each movement had the weight of survival and the hope of a future in which light would prevail over shadows. Vegeta and Goku, in their eternal friendly rivalry forged in countless battles, coordinated their attacks with an almost telepathic synchronization. Like two warriors who share a unique and deep bond, their fiery determination was reflected in every move, every punch, and every burst of energy they threw at their formidable opponent, Takagami.
Goku, it's time to unite our powers to take down this guy once and for all. We'll not allow it to continue sowing chaos and destruction. Our combined strength will be their undoing. Take this, Takagami! This is the end that awaits you for challenging the Z Warriors.
I'm with you, Vegeta! There's no turning back now! Together, we'll put an end to this threat once and for all! Let's get him!
The latter, a formidable adversary in his own right, was forced to quickly divert his attention between dodging the quick and precise strikes of the Saiyans and dealing with the strategic cunning of Gohan and the tactical prowess of Piccolo.
Don't underestimate my power, Saiyans. My abilities go beyond what you can imagine. Your determination's admirable, but it won't be enough to stop me. Get ready to know the true darkness that resides in this universe.
The frantic dance of attacks and defenses between the protagonists became a ballet of opposing forces, where speed and power merged into an unparalleled combat choreography. Each shock of energy unleashed explosions of ki that lit up the sky like shooting stars on a stormy night. painting the firmament with flashes of power and determination. The battlefield was transformed into an epic scenario where the fates of the combatants were intertwined in a cosmic drama of legendary proportions.
Gohan, now's your time to shine. Use this opportunity to show your true power and determination. We're all counting on you to turn the tide of this battle. Don't hold back. Give your best and make every hit count. The fate of everyone depends on your courage and strength in this crucial moment.
Come on, Dad! Mr. Piccolo! We won't stop until we beat you! Our determination's stronger than ever, and together, we're unstoppable! This is our moment to show that together, we can overcome any obstacle! Let's trust in our bonds, and fight with everything we have!
Meanwhile, Gohan's relentless determination and Piccolo's tactical wisdom added layers of complexity to the conflict, consistently challenging Takagami's strategies and moves. The intensity of the confrontation reached its peak, and with each hero and villain deploying their maximum potential in search of victory. Amid the chaos of battle, friendship and honor and inner strength shone as beacons of hope, in a universe fraught with unfathomable challenges and dangers. Goten and Trunks, following the meticulous plan laid out by Piccolo to the latter, demonstrated a perfect synchronization that bordered on the supernatural. As young Saiyan warriors, their connection was more than a simple strategic alliance. It was the manifestation of a deep and lasting friendship, forged in countless shared trainings and battles. Every movement, every gesture, flowed between them in an innate harmony that only the strongest bonds could sustain.
Goten, your task is to maintain the defensive perimeter. Don't let anything surprise us from behind. Trunks, look for any opportunity to counterattack. We need to take advantage of every gap in their defense to turn the tide in this battle.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll be attentive and make sure that nothing takes us by surprise.
Following Piccolo's instructions, Goten unleashed bursts of energy with the dexterity and speed typical of the Saiyan lineage.
Come on, Trunks, let's keep the pressure on. Let's not give up and take every opportunity to move forward.
His attacks were precise and forceful, outlining a defensive perimeter around the group with an intensity that left his opponents breathless. Meanwhile, Trunks, a skilled wielder of the energy sword, executed precise and elegant cuts that perfectly complemented Goten's strategic defense.
Don't let any of them through, Goten. Keep our fronts safe while we look for weaknesses in their formation. Let's keep pushing.
Each movement drew lines of glowing energy in the air, creating a dynamic and effective wall of protection that neutralized any threat that dared to get too close to their companions. The combination of Goten and Trunks' skills not only demonstrated their individual mastery, but also their ability to work in a team in a fluid and coordinated way. Their actions were not only the result of practice and training, but also of a deep mutual understanding that allowed them to anticipate each other's movements with pinpoint accuracy. On the battlefield, the symbiosis was their greatest strength, making them an unstoppable force that courageously and determinedly defended those considered their family and home. The battle that was being fought was a whirlwind of energy and strategy, where every move had a deep meaning, and every decision impacted on the future of the contest. Goten and Trunks, the young Saiyan warriors, showed amazing coordination as they threw themselves into combat with a mixture of bravery and dexterity. His movements were like a martial dance, fluid and precise, designed to unbalance the dark creatures summoned by Takagami.
Trunks, to your right! Understood.
The voices of the young people echoed among the booms of explosions and the clash of powers. Each exchange of blows was a symphony of ki, a manifestation of the determination not to give ground in the face of the darkness that threatened to engulf them. Meanwhile, Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, deployed his ki in explosions of controlled energy, creating glowing spheres that exploded with force on impact against the shadows that rushed over them.
We can't give up! Our world depends on this! Every strike, every strategy, everything counts in this crucial battle! Let's keep fighting until the end!
His voice resonated with conviction, injecting courage into his companions. Piccolo, the calm but ruthless strategist, extended his arms with authority, generating defensive barriers that protected the group from surprise attacks. His eyes observed the battlefield with a calculated calm, evaluating every movement of the enemy to find the precise moment to counterattack.
Keep the pressure constant. We cannot allow them to make up ground. Every breakthrough we make is crucial to maintaining our advantage. Keep attacking relentlessly.
The sound of energy crashes and explosions was deafening, but during the chaos, the group's determination and unity shone like beacons of hope in the darkest night. Each of the Z Warriors knew that they were not only fighting for their lives, but for the future of their home and the generations to come. Every attack, every block was another step towards victory or defeat, and they were not willing to give in to adversity. Amid the furious fray, every strategic move and every technique deployed by the Z Warriors reflected years of training and experience, as well as a bond of trust and camaraderie that strengthened them in the most difficult moments. The coordination between them was a show of synchronization and dexterity, a chaotic but harmonious dance of attacks and defenses that kept at bay the dark forces that tried to dominate them. However, it was at a crucial moment, when hope seemed to be faltering in the face of Takagami's relentless persistence, that Goku and Vegeta, the legendary Saiyans whose power transcended known limits, demonstrated once again why they were revered as the most powerful warriors in the universe. With millimetric synchronization that only they could achieve after years of training and epic battles, they unleashed a devastating combined attack that shattered Takagami's defenses, leaving them exposed and vulnerable in the face of the final counterattack of the brave defenders of the Earth. The impact of their combined energy resounded on the battlefield like divine thunder, shaking reality itself with its overwhelming power. The energy blasts and shockwaves spread out like a gale, sweeping away any obstacles in their way and marking a decisive turn in the confrontation. The hearts of the Z Warriors swelled with renewed hope as they witnessed the result of the bravery and determination embodied in Goku and Vegeta, who were not only allies but also rivals who raised each other to new heights of power and dexterity.
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Black girl,